I feel like Liverpool, the only way Liverpool can come close to winning in this window, and it's a complete bullshit made up sentiment, is if they get Van Dijk and Keita over the line. But, and people don't care what, it doesn't matter what it costs. Liverpool need to get those 2 transfers done this summer. Otherwise, there's just going to be ammunition strewn around the place to take pot shots at the club, the manager, the transfer committee, the owners, etc.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think, look, either way now, if one of those signings isn't done, there'll be some kind of a failure on Liverpool's behalf. I think the biggest failure has already happened. The Virgil van Dijk stuff, and I know it's probably a month ago now that it all happened. That is a massive drop bollock, and one that I think it's fair to keep on talking about, because you just can't make mistakes like that when you're talking about one of the top centre-backs in Europe right now. You just can't put yourself in that position where you have to be at the behest of Southampton, whether they're going to sign, or the player has to go and put a transfer request in. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely frigging terrible. And by all accounts, it wasn't all the club's fault, but ultimately that information came from the club first and foremost, and they did do the meetings with Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah, so I mean, I think the problem is someone's grassed them up, and that's a risky thing. I got no problem with it, and here's the thing: it is me condone and illegal action. I've got no problem with Liverpool going absolutely out the way to tap up Virgil van Dijk, and this is because, if it comes down to without having had that conversation, now it could have been done in like the tried and true old-fashioned method. You just do it through an intermediary, which is what it should have been done. But if it felt like there was the tipping point, and let's say, and there is no evidence that no charges have come of it about Jurgen met him or not. But if Jurgen Klopp did physically meet him, if that's true, and we're not saying that it is, and he felt it was because that was going to be the deciding factor in getting that deal over the line, because we were going in a straight battle with Chelsea and Man City for a player, and these are 2 teams that can totally blow us out the water in terms of finances, even if we go high on finances. I get that. It's like Rafa's old adage about how he was racing against the Ferrari he was in a high spec BMW, but he's still racing against the Ferrari for the top of thing. And I still feel
get wacky races on it and get some fucking pins on the road and shit like.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? And this is where we're maybe we're bending the rules, and maybe to the point of we've gone past bending of the rules to make them. So I understand.
Skype, guys.
Skype. But even that, look,
or another video call app, whatever it is.
Yeah, other video call apps are available. But again, it's like anything. I know myself. I would always, if I feel like I've got to get a point across, I'd always rather do it face to face, and that's the problem. You're not allowed to do that. But if you don't get caught, there's no problem. You know what I mean?
I tell you what, Snapchat's probably perfect for this, isn't it? They disappear after 10. I mean,
his agent's probably screenshotting stuff and sticking it out on Twitter. The fucking idiot.
No, look. I think you're right. Your point is right. Sometimes you do have to go a little bit above and beyond what everybody else is if you want to secure something like that. But the fact of the matter is, it was leaked. We maybe have, moving it on, we maybe have a chance of still getting Virgil van Dijk. We need to get that done. We maybe have a chance of still getting Naby Keita. But we need to get that done. The question was, do we have a plan B? Yeah. Well, when do you go to plan B?
Well, this is the question. This is the question.
Do you go to plan B when plan A is not working, or when plan A's failed? Because in a football match, you might do it when it's a draw.
Smart manager would do it well before the shit hits the fan, wouldn't
he? But we're not in a football match. We're in something that 2 weeks before the end of the transfer window, Liverpool can move on to the plan B, unless the plan B options start going. In which case, then you have to make a decision. This is
where I think all the stress of the window comes from, though, is that there's no obvious backup plan B there. There's no tangible links that are plausible. There's just a lot of shit media outlets looking for clicks, throwing names out and hoping that something sticks effectively.
Is that a problem?
It's a problem. It shouldn't be a problem, but it is a problem.
Who's it a problem for?
For Liverpool fans, in a general sense, because it's like you face. Let's say you face with a problem, and again, everyone should be able to switch off to this, but we exist in a world where it's very difficult to switch off to it. You reach an impasse on something, and you can stress out about. Let's look at like buying a house as an example of it. So and I know you've got a fair whack of experience when it comes to stressful house buying experiences. So you reach a house and you imagine you reach an impasse where it's all ready to go and blah, 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 and you're waiting on this and it's just not happening, and you hold off and hold off and hold off. Now, I know actually both you ended up in a situation, this and my cousins ended up in a very similar situation where, long story, but very difficult to complete a deal on a particular type of house. You reach a point where you either got to persist with it and trust that it's all going to come off, or you've got to go out and find another solution. Okay. And you find peace in actively seeking out other solutions or knowing that other options are out there, because when you've got other options you can relax a little bit more, because it's not your whole future isn't hinged upon one person making a decision.